Hello, I'm Rebecca Hanson, also known as Rebecca the Maths Lady, and the purpose of this video is to quickly explain what the multiplication tables check would have looked like had it actually been a sensible test. There are 3 points I'm going to explain. The first is that this test should have supported children who sense check their answers. The second is that this test should have been designed to support good learning journeys for all children. And the third is that the test should have been developed using evidence, consultation and whole community discussion. So the first point is that this test should have supported and given credit to children who still sense check some or all of their answers, because that's perfectly normal and healthy at the age of 8 or 9 when children are taking this test. And what I mean by that is that if you give a child a question like 7 times 12, the test is designed to make them fail unless they instantly know it's 84 and put that in without thinking. But it is perfectly normal and healthy for a child to recall 84 but quickly sense check it, thinking 7 tens and 7 twos, that's 70 and 14, so it's 84. But if they do that, they fail this test, and that's not okay. It's also really sensible for children to sense check some of their harder tables results against neighbouring results. It's normal, it's healthy, it's doing lots of good things for their mathematical understanding at this age to do that. But the test has been designed so that children who do that fail it, and that is not okay. My second point is that this test should have been designed to support the learning journeys towards becoming fluent with their tables for all children. And there are 2 ways in which it doesn't do that. Firstly, it only gives credit at one level for exceptional performance. The only results for the school that are going to Ofsted are how many children got full marks at rote recalling all their tables. Now, we know from experience where we've had key grade boundaries in the past that means that a lot of schools will focus on the children who are close to those grade boundaries rather than on their whole community of children. So how could we have dealt with that? We might have had, say, bronze, silver, gold results. So a bronze credit would have been for a child who gets all 25 tables questions right without a time limit. And perhaps we would have allowed apparatus, and that would have created a great challenge for children with special needs, children who are really struggling for any reason. A great and appropriate challenge and recognition that they are making progress with their maths. And then we might have had a silver result, maybe for children who can do 25 tables questions as described in the actual test in 5 minutes. Just moving back and forwards through the questions, sense checking their answers, being absolutely sure about what they're doing. And then you might have a gold result for children who can do those 25 questions in 3 minutes. That's really quick for 25 questions. It's more than 8 questions a minute. And if they can do that, they are really, really good with their tables. And if you'd got boundaries like that, all of which were worth something, then schools would be focusing on their whole community of children and would be incentivised to do that. I know a lot of schools will care about all their children anyway, but it would be great if the test design respected and encouraged that behaviour. The other thing it would have been wise to do is to give schools instant access to the details of the results so they know what children can and can't do, and to allow children to retake the test across the testing window so there's opportunity to learn and develop during that testing period. And I would also have liked to have seen the opportunity for children who maybe got a silver to come back in year 5 and really go for gold, when they're 9 years old instead of 8 years old. It's just totally reasonable and would be a huge achievement for them. So we should have had a test that respected, supported and encouraged schools that are providing a healthy learning journey for all their students. And that's not what we've got. We've got a test that only gives credit to the top children who rote recall every fact instantly. It's just not healthy. My third point is that this test should have been developed using evidence and consultation. Instead, it was developed by a government that was incredibly proud of ignoring anyone who talked about the real world or about evidence and shut down all processes of consultation. And really, you have to have existed in maths education pre-2010 to understand how healthy it used to be when initiatives were proposed. Groups were set up to come up with initial proposals. These were then consulted across the community. There was discussion, there was research, there was a healthy step forward in the community's understanding of the topic being progressed during the consultation process. Obviously, all that has gone to an extreme extent. So there should have been research studies looking at suggested proposals for good testing, analysing what happens when they're trialled. All that information should have been made available as part of the consultation. I feel quite uncomfortable making suggestions here because I'm one individual on my own who's not been supported by that kind of environment. But on balance, I think it's better that I speak out rather than say nothing. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, please say so in the comments. Let's have that healthy debate that's been so suppressed. In the background to this test, I still have this petition going on that this test should not be brought in without consultation. It's not fit for purpose. Please do sign it. Please do encourage others to sign it. If we get 10,000 signatures, we have to get a response from government. They have to pay attention. I was pushing this petition really hard until April, but I became ill, sadly, at exactly the wrong time. This is my first video back and the test goes live next week. If you'd like to know more about this test, I have another video on it. I'll post a link to that. And Warwick Mansell on his website. He's a great journalist. He's written a really detailed article about it, which I recommend. I'll put a link to that too. More Than a Score have an excellent video of children who are 8 or 9 talking about the reality of taking this test. They also have a practice test that you can take to understand it better. Please do that. Please encourage people to sign the petition. Please enhance the debate about what's going on as this test is introduced. It is not okay that tests like this are introduced totally without consultation by government ministers with fetishes about what they think is good for children that bear no resemblance to reality and don't stand up to any scrutiny, as has happened here. We need to have this discussion. We need to tell the government that it's not okay. It needs to stop. They need to rebuild consultation. I'll also write a blog about the contents of this video if you prefer to link people to a blog than to the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.